Good morning. Today is, what is today? August. I'm losing track of time. I think it's August 6th, or is it August 7th? It's Tuesday. And here's what's going on at the Griffith Homestead. You can see I've been removing the stalks of corn. I can probably remove the rest of them and the little fence will go away. I'm standing among the watermelon. And I've got some nice ones. Shiloh, no eating the watermelon. Thank you. You're so silly. Now this one, this is one of the Desert Kings, and apparently with all the rain we got, the bottom split. I'm leaving it on there in hopes that the rest of it will stay okay. But that is not the biggest one we have. The biggest one we have is in there somewhere. I see it, I think. See where that flag is? You can see something solid gray-green in there. That's it. That one's a pretty good sized one there. That one's a pretty good sized one there. We got a few good sized rattlesnake also, but they're on the other side of the garden. Can't see it from, oh, you can barely see it from here. It's right, you see the two flags furthest back and then one a little closer. That's where the biggest one is. Anyway, as you can see, I've been clearing a lot of the weeds around the strawberries. You can actually see the strawberries now. There's no more masses of grass growing through here. I've had a surprise of a couple asparagus stalks that suddenly came up. Got several of them. Of course, they're all on the verge of going to seed now, so there's nothing I can do with them. But I was surprised. All these feathery things you see here are the first batch of asparagus from spring going to seed. And, see, we don't even have any grass through here. Oh, I got a couple spots need to be cleared out now. The peppers. These Marconi red peppers, one of them is finally starting to ripen, but you can see how big these peppers are. There we go. And they're pretty numerous, but they've been growing for a couple months now. These things take a long time to mature. I've just been letting them grow. The tomatoes, these are the Roma tomatoes. And the problem with the blossom end rot has finally been resolved. One week and then another week of bone meal treatment has ended the problem. So these are all Roma tomatoes, everything in the blue cage. Everything in the yellow cage is the heirloom mix. Not sure exactly which variety is which, but you can see they're doing pretty well. Those green cages stacked up there, those are what were containing the Principe boar geese. I have pulled those up. They were all dead or dying. So I removed all the tomatoes from those. And these, the silver and red cages, are the mortgage lifters. And indeed, they're pretty good size, although Some of the heirloom tomatoes are bigger. But I think I will go ahead. Wow, that's a big one. I will probably grow these next year. And we've got some volunteer sunflowers that came up. I decided to leave them because they're pretty. These are all marigolds. And because of those, you will notice on my tomato plants, not a single aphid or whitefly. The corn had aphids. I'm going to plant marigolds around the corn next year. Oops, got a fallen tomato here. Probably knocked off by a clumsy doggy. This is a batch of wildflowers that I noticed last year during the garden. I also noticed that the bees and hummingbirds loved it. So I left it in place, and when I cleared out everything, I made sure to leave this corner alone. I'd like to transplant some of them at least, but we'll see what happens. That's all that's left of the cutting flowers that I planted. Mostly zinnia, got a few marigolds. And the eggplant. Yes, we are finally starting to get eggplant forming here. Late in the season, but they're forming. Oh, there we go. You can see it on the top there. Got a few of them. The nasturtiums, I didn't really do much with them this year, but they've produced seeds, so next year I can plant some more. Zucchini have just about had it. If anyone has not seen what squash vine borer looks like, I will zoom in so you can see what happens to the base of the vine. Yeah, it basically gets chewed away. They bore into it and then eat away at it. So it eventually kills the plant, but sometimes the plant survives long enough to produce a couple more zucchini. And right now, we have one definite zucchini forming. Otherwise, everything else has possible zucchinis, but I don't know if it'll make it. The beans, I'm not picking anymore. I'm just going to let them go to seed. Let those pods mature. So we'll have seeds for next year. I've got a friend in Atlanta, Susie. Yes, I'll send you some seeds. Pumpkins. Had a couple false starts. There's one down there that looks like, wait a sec, where is it? There it is. It's kind of yellowish down there. I don't know if that's going to make it. But I was surprised this morning to find another one starting. So we may get one pumpkin out of these vines, which is more than we got last year. And the cucumbers. Cucumbers are starting to fade, but all that rain we got in the past week didn't help, but we still have some cucumbers forming. There's another one up there. So that's hanging in there. The rattlesnake, here's a couple decent size rattlesnake melons, and here for comparison is my foot. Another one in there. The Desert King definitely did better, so I might stick with that next year. And the grapes are just kind of hanging in there. And I do see a tree growing on the wires over there among the grapevines, and that will have to go. That'll probably involve a pitchfork to dig the sucker out. Yeah, it's been a pretty good season. At least I got a few ears of corn out of it. The raccoons did get some at the beginning, And after they figured out how to just climb up these poles and not touch the wires, they got a couple more, but meanwhile I got some decent ones. And that concludes my tour of the Griffith Homestead garden. Y'all have a great day.